What's up, guys? Here's my testimony of how I didn't really even think there was a God at times. I was addicted to pornography, turned to Islam, went back to my addiction, and then turned to Christianity. God bless, and here's the video. I want to hop on here. I've been trying to do vlogs more recently and get more personal on this thing. And I feel like I'm a Christian, so a big part of that is preaching the message. So I feel like I should start with how I got saved and my story and everything like that. So just to give you a little bit of background about my life, my cousins are Muslim. I never really grew up in I guess you could say religious household. I never even really thought about there being a God for a while. It wasn't until I was I think 16 and it popped into my head, but I never really thought about it. And then when I was 17, I really started to sort of dive into it. First things first, is there a God? And to me, there has to be. The idea of everything coming from nothing just doesn't really make sense to me. The idea of there being nothing and we just die and our lives essentially, they have meaning, of course, because you leave a mark on earth, but to those people who don't have anybody in their lives and they don't leave a little bit of a mark on earth to loved ones or something like that, does your life just not have meaning, and are we just blobs of flesh on this earth and everything molded perfectly together? There's a quote that says, "The thumb alone would make me believe in God." And just the complexity of everything, our bodies, the earth, the oceans, the volcanoes, animals, everything, bro. Every single thing is so perfectly made and perfectly done that it had to be done by a higher power, right? So I'm here, 17 years old, and not really understanding there's 50 religions, not 50, there's so many religions in the past that people debunked. So I'm sitting here, I'm why is that? It makes no sense. I see TikToks oh, religious people, when you go to hell for believing the wrong one of 400, and I'm that doesn't make sense. Now obviously I think that's the devil is just making these false religions. So I'm researching for months, and honestly I think I started with Christianity, but I think what it was, I didn't understand the concept of the Trinity and certain things like the murdering of the Amalekites and a bunch of other, whatever the word is, cultures, groups, I don't know, something. So I'm sitting here, I'm yeah, I don't get it. And shout out to my friend Matt. He helped me a ton with mad questions. So I have almost every question essentially answered. And always, I have questions now. I'm making this and I'm wait, how do I explain that? How do I say that? The Trinity was the one thing that doesn't make sense. 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. And I never understood that. And then I think I'll just try and explain it later on in the video. My first time, it was actually after a basketball game, I was but I was you know what? I'm gonna talk to Jesus. And I said that. I was I'm gonna talk to Jesus. And then I walked around my, I have a little home gym, and I'm walking around and I'm pacing. And for an hour, I got everything off my mind. It wasn't even just basketball, it was everything, bro. And then I start laying on the couch, I'm chilling, I'm just looking up that, chilling, bro. So peaceful. I felt so much peace, bro. And it was just weird, it was surreal, feeling that much peace. I felt like a presence, But for some reason I was just yeah, well, whatever. And because I didn't understand the Trinity. Oh yeah, just to say a little backstory, I was addicted to pornography. I had to say it because that's just the truth. And I'm just being honest. So I think it's good to say your story because it can maybe help others. Thank God save me from that. So then I'm talking to them, my cousins, and I'm bro, Christianity makes no sense. How can 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 with the idea of the Trinity where the Holy Spirit is God, the Father is God, and the Son is God? So I didn't understand that. And he was yeah, why would you so why do you keep doing research? You say it makes no sense, why do you keep doing research? And I'm oh, I guess, yeah. I started looking into Islam, and it's kind of making more sense to me at the time. In that religion, God is just literally one, I guess, entity. Something that Islam separated from Christianity is that there's one book, and they say it's like never changed, which I'm pretty sure is cap too. I have to do more research. Who destroyed the previous Quran versions is what I googled. It says during the compilation and standardization of the Quran, specifically under the rule of Caliph Uthman, I think, various earlier versions of the Quran were destroyed. This action was taken to ensure a unified and standardized text, preventing potential confusion and disagreements that might arise from multiple, potentially inconsistent versions. Reasons for destruction: it was done to establish a single authoritative text for Muslims, particularly after the Prophet Muhammad's death. There were other versions of the Quran that were destroyed. And when you look at the complexity of the Bible, bro, it's actually insane. But that's besides the point. So there's this one book, and I'm like, oh, it has no flaws. Islam gotta be true. So that night, I say that whatever it's called, I'll put it in the text. I'm like, okay, bet, like, I'm Muslim. Started praying, but the thing with the prayers was that it was like mandatory. Like, it was like, if you miss a prayer, it's like sinful. For those who don't know, it's kind of like you just say that, like, it's like a scripted prayer. But I was like, okay, like, yeah, kept going by it. But I never felt like a presence. I never felt like, okay, God's with me. Like, yeah, like, this is God. I never felt that. Certain things start happening in my life, like the kid Matt comes back. Just start seeing a bunch of signs. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay, like, I don't feel like a presence. And it's been like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, where I'm like, I'm praying, I'm going to basketball practice late, I'm going to class late, I'm waking up early for school. Like, I was praying, I didn't feel presence, like, not once. And I would pray, like, just chat it up, just try to chat it up. And it felt like I was like talking to like nothing, like literally nothing. I keep praying, like, all right, let me try and imagine the presence of God being there. And this is gonna sound a little crazy, and it is like it might like creep you out, I don't know. And if you get like shook, you could skip a bit, I don't know. So I'm praying, I'm like in my bathroom, like putting my hands on my knees. I'm like, okay, close my eyes and imagine it. So I'm there, and I get this vision. I do get a vision, and the vision is, it puts me in like I'm on the towel, and my hands are on my knees. And there's like, imagine there being a camera like right here, like panning out slowly, like a drone camera, and it goes like right on my shoulder or something. It was like a dark, like eerie a little bit on the left. It was like broken buildings and like lava looking type of thing. And then, but like where I was around, like it was also nice. Like I was confused. Honestly, I don't even know if that's what it was, and I just put that in my mind. That's kind of like the setting. I don't really remember the setting. But then camera zooms in right on me. It's like boom, and it zooms in right on me. And there's like a finger, like a wrinkly finger, bro. If you look at like, I'll put like a spoiler warning. Yeah, spoiler warning. Okay. So the one character from Stranger Things, and he's like wrinkly and like a burnt, wrinkly, dark gray finger with a long nail, kind of sharp, kind of going out to all the way here. Lifts my chin up because I'm looking down. Goes like this. I don't see anything, but I just see the finger. That's what the camera's like pointed on, like this right here. That motion. And it says, "Good job," in an eerie voice. Tears balling out my eyes. Just tears balling out my eyes, bro. And I continue to finish the prayer. Ugh. Like I'm getting like a pain in my stomach right now just thinking about it. So I'm sitting there and I'm just crying. I'm not like, I'm just in tears, like straight face, tears, bro. Finish it, wipe my tears, and then I'm like, whoa, like that was crazy. I still woke up the next morning and I prayed, and I had so much anxiety. But I don't get anxiety, like such a blessing. Like I had lived like a very happy life. No, I never like really feel this feeling before. Like, you know, you get nervous and stuff like that. Like, so like I know that, but like this was like different. And then I go to school, and I go and I pray in the locker room again, and I feel so much anxiety, bro. And I sit. It's kind of like in this like little shower thing that like nobody ever goes in. And I'm sitting there about to go to gym class a little late. Almost started crying again. And I talked to my friend JT. And I told him what happened. And he was like the first person I told, I'm pretty sure. He was like, yo, like that's crazy. Like you need to stop, bro. Like stop. Like that's a sign. Like stop being dumb. So for the first time in like 2.5 weeks, I skipped the prayer, skipped the next prayer, stop praying. I need to chill. Like I'm gonna stop praying. Let me get my mind off things. Let me just go back, do some more research. And as I'm doing research, I come across this video of this guy. He talks about like this verse from the Quran. The angel came up to him and asked him to read. The prophet replied, I do not know how to read. The prophet added, the angel caught me, in parentheses, forcefully, and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time, till I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and again asked me to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read. And then in parentheses it says, or what shall I read? Close parentheses, question mark. Thereupon he called me for the third time and pressed me, and then released me and said, read in the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists, created man from a clot. Read, and your Lord is most generous. Just to skip a bit, he says, then he went to Khadijah bint Walid or something, I don't know how to pronounce it, and said, cover me, exclamation mark, cover me, exclamation mark. I'm sitting here, I'm like, why would an angel, you know, like angels are perceived as like just nice, and they don't have to use force because it's all done with love. Pretty much that was like the big thing. And then the vision, and then I didn't feel no presence with God. So then shout out to my friend Kwaku too. But I think talking to people is like one of the most important things. Talking to Kwaku, 2 hours, bro. This guy called me, bro. W mans. Something like he was just so shocked at the idea that an angel would do that, and he really emphasized that. I'm like, yeah, like why would an angel do that? Why do they pray in that way? It just seems so, do it, you know? Then I'm back doing my research, and I'm still here, sin, Trinity. God, speak to me. Like, I don't get the Trinity. Help me. Like, I don't get it. I think it was the idea of just faith in general. I was able to understand the Trinity more because I was able to have more of an open heart and open mind to trying to, like, understand the concept. And I think the idea of faith is most important when discussing the Trinity because, yeah, it doesn't make sense. I think it's how can 3 things be the same, be one, be all equal. I mean, there are certain things, like you see the egg comparison, like I don't think it's a terrible comparison when you see the eggshell, the egg yolk, and the egg whites. They're all eggs though. And even though they don't do the exact same thing, they still make the egg. And it's not 1/3 egg. Like you could still say, yo, I had eggs if you just eat the egg whites. You know what I mean? And then it's like mind, body, and soul or something like that. Muslims, and I think even me myself at times, how can God be this if he was human? So you don't think God can be human? If your God can't be human, then bro, we're hiding the God. And like he'll pray to God, and he made himself fully human, and like his miracles were done through the Father who is fully divine. That's what kind of helped me. The idea of faith, ruling out other religions, truly having an open heart and mind to it, and really trying to like really understand it and say like, yo, this like genuinely could make sense. Like it does make sense. A big thing was reading the Bible, the Gospels. The amount of times of the consistencies of them saying I and the Father are one, the Holy Spirit and I are one, we work together, we are one. Like it's so consistent, so like said across so many different timelines where it's like, bro, this isn't just like cat. Like it's just like it makes sense. And like they'd be like, oh, like Jesus never said he's God, and like the Bible, like that's just cap. I would always take like pictures and underline and be like, yeah, like if anybody says that, like, oh, here's proof. And I took like 3 or 4 and I'm like, bro, how much more do you want me to like I would see it again, I'd be like, bro, I'm not taking a picture. Like it's just facts, like it's in the Bible. And bro, I'll also put a clip of like how many crossovers there are and cross references there are in the Bible and the miracle of the Bible, and like all the generations that it's been made, and how it all ties together, and how it literally is impossible, but unless it was made by God, but it would have to be a God, you know? So that's the answer.
This bar graph down here are all the books of the Bible and chapters. The length of it is the number of verses in the chapter. And I want you to see every one of these lines that connects, the darker the line, the more hyper connections. And it has a rainbow of pictures to show how interconnected the Bible is. Guess how many connections in the Bible? 63,000 connections in the Bible. If this was the work composed by one man, we would say this man is a master. The problem problem is, this is written by 40 different men over 1,500 years on 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, in 3 different languages, Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. And the entire book tells one united story. It's all connected together. You find me another book in all of human civilization that even scratches the surface of this.
I feel so much better and happier in life. Jesus is the Lord. Thank you to all my friends who helped me. Thank you to God. God bless, guys.